Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about actually quite a disappointing experience that I recently heard about a buyer's agent. Okay, I'm not going to name the buyer's agent, but I just feel it's my responsibility, duty to inform you guys of these experiences so that you can make better decisions. Okay, so I'm not going to do the intro today, I'm just going to get straight into it. So you as a new property investor or someone who's looking to add to their portfolio, you have three options. The first option, free. You get education from YouTube videos like this, from podcasts, from Facebook forums, books, networking events. Like, there's unlimited information out there, guys. It's free. The first option you have is to do it yourself, buy a property yourself. Go and do that. Try do that yourself. Many of you might be able to do that. Go for it. People have been buying properties in Australia without courses, without buyer's agents for decades. You might be able to do that. The second option is to use a buyer's agent, and I'll come to that in a second. And the third option is to use a course like mine or a mentorship service. But here's the thing. Like, I think it was Friday, I was on a strategy call with a potential client. I'm not going to name their name. They're probably watching this or listening to this. So, I hope you don't mind me sharing. It's all anonymous. So, the strategy calls are what people book with me when they're like basically ready to do my course. I only do one call. It's, not for everyone. And this person, they told me that they called a buyer's agent before they called me. And they said to them that, hey, I don't have enough money to buy a principal place of residence in Brisbane. I want to live in Brisbane. I don't have enough money to buy a principal place of residence in Brisbane. What I really want to buy is something around 900K or $1 million. I can't afford that right now. Right? And so therefore I want to invest in property to build up my equity and then buy that principal place of residence. Now that's fine, right? And that's completely okay. But this client, their ambition was to do that within the course of 1 year. Okay, give or take, their ambition was to do that within the course of 1 year. What they wanted to do was invest, and this is no disrespect to this client. You don't know until you don't know. That's why you need people to educate you. Their intention was to buy an investment property in Brisbane around $400,000, have it go up so much so that they could sell it in a year for $100,000 profit, $100,000 clean profit, and then use that money, which would be all that was needed to top up their savings or deposit to then buy that 900K principal place of residence, dream home, everything like that. So they went to this buyer's agent and they said, can you do that for me? Like, can you please help me find a place in Brisbane where in a year I could then sell it and I could then make $100,000 clear profit, and then that would add to my savings, that would add to my deposit, and I could then buy my principal place of residence. Borrowing capacity wasn't the issue, it was equity, it was savings, it was capital. That's why they needed $100,000 additional to be able to buy a 900K principal place of residence in a year. And you know what this buyer's agent said? And look, once again, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from all you buyer's agents, watching as well. I deeply respect the good ones that are watching my videos. I don't respect the bad ones at all. The person that he spoke to was not a good one. They said, yes, go ahead. We will be able to help you buy investment property that will give you $100,000 clean profit in 1 year. That's what they said, knowing full well that his budget was $400,000. So let's just do the math on this real quick, right? So let's say he buys a $400,000 property in Brisbane, okay? And let's say it goes up, let's even say something significant like 100,000 or 120. Let's even say $130,000 in the first 12 months in a year's time. Now, first of all, that is like a pretty ambitious goal. That's like more than 25% gain in 1 year. No self-respecting business owner will guarantee that. That's the first point. The second point is that even if that buyer's agent was so confident, had so much conviction in their abilities, if you reverse engineer the math, there is no way that this client is going to make $100,000 clear profit. Let's just even say that the $400,000 property rose to $530,000. It's a $130,000 gain in 1 year. Once again, that's, like, it's achievable. It happens. It's my clients have achieved it, but it's not something I can guarantee, right? But let's say that does happen, $130,000. Then on the way in, to actually have that as a $100,000 profit, $100,000 gain equal $100,000 profit. Let's just go through the expenses. On the way in, you're paying maybe $20,000 stamp duty, you're paying $1,000 conveyancing fees, you're paying registration fees, you're paying, some incidentals. So that's like $25,000 to $30,000 transaction costs on the way in. And then on the way out, you're paying 3% of agent costs to sell that property. So like 3% of $500,000, $15,000, you're paying legal fees, you're paying other transaction costs like advertising fee on realestate.com, other things like that. So if you maybe say it's $20,000, $30,000 transaction costs going on the way in, $20,000, $30,000 transaction costs going on selling that property after a year, let's just say 20 plus 20, right? That's $40,000. So that $130,000 equity gain is diluted to $90,000, right? $90,000. And then you have this agent's fee, like this buyer's agent fee, charging $18,000 per property. I know for a fact that this buyer's agent, I'm not going to name them because I'll get sued. This buyer's agent only became a buyer's agent 3 years ago. They had one investment property. When they did become a buyer's agent, they spent more than $200,000 on Facebook advertising, and now they get more than 30 clients a month. Okay, real story, this is what happens. But that aside, the ethics, right? So that $130,000 equity gain is diluted to $90,000 profit after transaction costs going in and out, $18,000 buyer's agent fee, right? Let's just say $20,000 to make the numbers easy in my head. So that $90,000 profit is now diluted to $70,000 profit. And then if you buy and sell, within 12 months, you got to pay capital gains tax. So you don't get that discount, right? You don't get the 50% capital gains tax discount. And if this person is on the highest tax bracket, or even if they're on the 37% tax bracket, like 37% off a profit of 70,000, I can't do that exactly in my head, but suffice to say that's at least $20,000. So the profit from the most ambitious scenario of a $400,000 property going up to $530,000 in 1 year, the profit if they were to sell within 12 months is less than $50,000. That $50,000 is not going to allow this client or this person to have that much more capital, that much more savings to be able to buy that $900,000 property in 12 months' time, that $900,000 principal place of residence. Also, this buyer's agent knowing full well that $900,000 property in 12 months' time, it's not like that's staying constant. It's not like that's going backwards. That's also going to become $1 million property. So this is the problem with the real estate industry. This is a problem with me or people like me. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's not a problem with me. There's a problem with the industry, ethics. Right? This person, this buyer's agent, was looking for a fast buck. Now, I know that this buyer's agent, because of their business, is a multi-millionaire. So why is it that they're still trying to scam, innocent, naive, novice property investors who don't know better? And when this client was on the phone with me, I was telling it to him straight. I was telling this story to him, because he was in this story, and he was just like, I kept saying, I don't mean to be negative, but this is the reality, right? When you go to people and you put your heart on the line, it gets crushed. This is exactly the problem in the real estate industry. It's about ethics. For these buyer's agents, it's a transaction. Like, let's say in 12 months, let's say he actually went ahead and did that. In 12 months, when he made, $40,000 clear profit off a super ambitious scenario, what accountability does that buyer's agent have? Nothing, right? They have all their disclaimers in the contract. There's nothing that this person can do. In fact, he's just gone backwards because he's further away from buying that 900K property than he was before, because that 900K property is now $1 million property. What can you do? It's a very unprofessional video of this one. I'm very sorry, but it's the secret recipe that sells. Why do people go to KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken? Because they have a secret recipe that the Colonel, built up. And, everyone knows that KFC is not good for you. but it sells. Why do people buy Coca-Cola? Because they have a secret recipe that no one can emulate. You know, we've all tasted the fake cola, it's not quite the same. But it sells because it's a secret recipe. All these buyer's agents preach data, all these buyer's agents preach that they have all these connections, all these buyer's agents preach that they're the experts on the ground. It's their secret recipe that you're paying for. It sells. You know, people flock to them. There's no accountability, there's no transaction. Don't ever give anyone your money who hasn't proved already that they have had hundreds of clients, and all those client testimonials, not just testimonials, but the actual deals with real numbers, are open and honest, you know, open for review in a social environment, not just on their website, could be faked, in a social environment where clients are tagged. You should be able to watch and read and view dozens of their client testimonials, not just a 30-second snippet, but genuine, you know, all 360 angle question and answers. Don't give away your money unless you do this level of due diligence. You need to see their deals, not just their recent deals from like a week ago where they're saying, oh, undermarket this, but deals from 6 months ago, deals from a year ago. You need to have the ability to do this due diligence, right? And oftentimes buyer's agents will say, you know, this PK guy, seriously, there's like forums of people, of hate for me from buyer's agents, because I'm just telling you this, right? I'm not saying it in a negative way. This is just the reality. Plenty good buyer's agents out there as well. Plenty of them are really good friends of mine. I'm picking on, unfortunately, what I am going to say is not the select few, but somewhat the majority these days. I'm picking on them to save you guys going to a buyer's agent. Oftentimes buyer's agents say that, look, you can't do this yourself. We're experts. It's like, you know, if you need some sort of electrical issue in your house, you wouldn't try to do it yourself. You wouldn't just go on YouTube or pay for a course. You'd get an electrician because it's a big deal. You don't want to get electrocuted. You don't want your house to get burnt down. That is not the analogy, all right? Hiring a buyer's agent is like needing like a really fancy light bulb changed in your house, which isn't kind of just available at Coles or Woolies. You need to go to like a specialty light bulb store. You know, hiring a buyer's agent is like that. It's not like hiring an electrician. You can change that light bulb yourself. You just need to become educated on what kind of light bulb it is. You need to figure out on Google where to get it from, because you might not be able to get it from Coles or Woolies. It might not even be at Bunnings. You might need to drive a little way to get this sort of niche light bulb, and you need to come back and get the ladder and put it in. Does that mean you need to outsource it? No. Does it mean that it's easy? Not necessarily. But does that mean that you need to pay $18,000, $15,000, $13,000 for the privilege? Like, a buyer's agent in the US, an established, mature property market, is $2,000 to $4,000. Let that sink in for a second. $2,000 to $4,000. Here, this person was charging $18,000. Low ethics, no morale, no accountability, taking, you know, it's like the lion, you know, when they're the predator, when they're preying, when they're hungry, they don't go for like the big alpha buffalo. They look for the baby buffalo who doesn't really know what they're doing, you know, hanging out at the back of the pack, easy targets. If you're a brand new property investor, you're an easy target for sharks, all right? There's plenty of sharks out there, 1,001 property investment firms, probably 10,001 property investment companies, buyers agencies, of which some are very good, but the majority aren't, trying to screw you over for a quick buck. Guys, do your due diligence. If you want me to do a video on exactly how to do your due diligence, leave a yes below and I'll do that. I'll do a 10, 20-minute video on how to do your due diligence on me, on anyone else, before handing over even 1 cent of your hard-earned money. All right, does that make sense? If you want me to do a video, leave a yes below, YES, and I know I'm going to get plenty of dislikes on this YouTube video. There's going to be lots of thumbs down. I'm happy to take that risk because this needs to be said. No one else is saying it. Buyers agents dominate the content in the property investment space in Australia. No one is playing the devil's advocate. No one is telling it as it is except for me. So I can guarantee you I'll get at least 20 thumbs down on this video. Try to offset that, guys. Give it a thumbs up, share it, like it, tag your friends, tag someone so that YouTube algorithm can blow it up, because this is the reality. And if you're a novice property investor, you might be thinking PK is awfully skeptical, but those of you who've been around for a while, you know that this is exactly how it is. My name's PK, and I want you to be careful.